Hello, welcome to Souls Intersect. This reading is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising signs, and it is for the month of June 2017. If you're interested in a private reading with me, feel free to email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com, or you can book directly through my site, and the address is in the description. Feel free to check out my site and read through what I have to say about my readings. My approach is different from some readers. I am an intuitive reader, and using my intuition is actually the main part of my readings. I use the cards as a frame or sometimes as prompts for other information to come through. And I go into more detail about that on my site. I also offer past life readings, which are non-tarot readings, and there's a description about those on my site as well, and those are now only $35. Okay, so I'm going to read through the cards and then I will tune in. So from the top left, you have the Six of Cups, the Three of Wands, the Ten of Cups. In the center, the Queen of Cups, the Lovers, and the Nine of Swords. And on the bottom, the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Two of Cups. Okay, so this is really beautiful reading. Lots of lovely cards. Lots of nice cups energy. Lots of cups in general. So there's definitely some emotional things happening here. My sense with the Ten of Swords is that this is something from the past where you were pretty damaged emotionally from a painful breakup. The Six of Cups is really ringing through as a past love. For some of you, there may have been even other things that caused some emotional pain in this relationship. So not just the emotional pain of the actual breakup or, damage to what was once a love between you, but also something else added to it, like possibly a miscarriage or an abortion, or maybe there was drug abuse. So something added to it for some of you that just made it incredibly more painful, more than those things already are. And it's something that you've been really taking a lot of time to recover from. But the really good news and beautiful news is that there is incoming love, or there is potential for it. Now, for some of you, especially with the Lovers card, I always point this out, this could very well have to do with self-love. So there's definitely a strong sense of new love coming in for a lot of you. But I would say for those people and for all of you, that self-love is also very important, uniting two sides of yourself to come into better balance. And it's interesting because on that diagonally we have two tens also, the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Cups. So my sense is that a union, the most important union that needs to happen, is a union of what you've learned emotionally and what your thought system is, pattern of thinking, even beliefs might come into play. But there's some things happening within you that are not linked emotionally and mentally, that even maybe at odds with each other. And that is part of what is going to renew emotional and romantic energy in your life, that's going to help new love to come in. So that's where a lot of the self-love comes through, and self-improvement in a sense, and self-healing. But having both the Lovers and the Two of Cups, there's definitely a sense of someone else and a partner. The message with that, though, too, with this Nine of Swords, is that I believe because of this past love, there are some fears for a lot of you in regard to an upcoming partnership. I feel like with the Three of Wands, that although there might be fear of entering a new relationship, first of all, it might not be conscious. So anxiety that you possibly have over a partnership, either upcoming or maybe one you've entered recently or are in, might have to do with fears from a past romance, and some of you, it seems like, might not realize that. So I wanted to put that out there, that it might not be conscious for some of you, but for some of you it is. And my sense around it with the Three of Wands is that you have everything you need within you to understand cause and effect, and you have all the tools necessary to look back and understand why things happen the way they happened and how to prevent them from happening in the future. So it's about trust. It's about trusting yourself to implement those tools, to understand, to remember, and to not repeat patterns. You have all of that. For some reason, it feels like there's fear that you don't. So it's all about gentle reminders and feeling free to look back and think about what could be, how not to repeat things, essentially, that made you unhappy. So for those of you with an upcoming partnership and with potential for a new partnership, it really does feel like there's a strong possibility for this to be very fulfilling and lasting. But it's definitely going to require a lot of self-love and a lot of self-trust. It's a very important theme with this. For those of you who are partnered up, I feel that there has been some damage in this relationship you're in the past, and maybe a sense of defeat in some way. There is a renewal coming through. So for those of you who are not single, in other words, rather than this being a new partnership after having been single, it feels like a renewal to a current partnership. And there's definitely learning involved in that too, though. It seems like work has to be done to gain that in this case. It's not just like some new energy that's going to come in and renew things. It's not going to be, giving birth to a child is just going to fix everything or something along those lines. It feels like real mental work, again, balancing some emotional and mental stuff by, sometimes there's the temptation, either within ourselves or in partnerships, not to look back, not to judge things up because it hurt. And there's the fear that it's going to just cause more pain and leave what's in the past in the past. This reading is telling me that that's probably not the case for a lot of you, that it's actually important to look back and learn from what you've been through. So again, if you're in a current partnership, it feels like something you've been through with the current partner that needs to be looked at and examined and understood and applied to the current time. It's going to be your lesson. It's information and experiences that have happened to help you learn now. And I feel like there's maybe been some resistance to that. But that's what's going to be that renewal for a lot of you in partnerships. There are also maybe some of you in partnerships that do have a new person coming in as well. But there's still that lesson of learning from the past. Okay. I also sense that with the Six of Cups, this comes up for me a lot of times since I do past life readings, as a past life issue. And I'm feeling a theme about trust coming through in regard to that. This Ten of Swords feels like things may be really positive. So you might look at the emotional side of a current partnership or someone you're interested in. It might even be a relationship with a family member or friend. But it feels like it has to do with a link to someone else where things seem fine. They seem to be flowing, happy, romantic, sensual, that there doesn't seem to be any incompatibilities or issues, but you feel pain for some reason with this 9 and 10 of Swords. And there's a strong message for a lot of you coming through to me that is because of a past life issue. Something that happened that was painful between you in a past life is impacting you both mentally and emotionally in the current partnership with this person or in the connection with this person, however you're connected. So that might be something that needs to get looked at. But even just hearing that can be reassuring, because it might be a situation where you feel that and you just don't understand why you've been feeling that. Well, a lot of people in our current lives are people we've connected to in past lives, in my belief and understanding. And most likely, if things are going pretty well, but you feel that pain, you're together again or around each other again to heal that. And that could also be something you could look at in a past life reading, for example. It's definitely also meant to be a learning experience. Okay, really beautiful cards. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions about this, feel free to email me or you can comment. And I hope you have a great month of June. Take care.